Ever wonder why your legs feel weaker than they did a year ago? Why getting up from a chair takes more effort? Why stairs feel steeper? Why your balance seems a little more unstable? And why your body feels older than your mind does? You may think it is just age. You may think this is simply what happens after 60. But what if I told you that in many cases, it is not just aging? What if one of the biggest reasons adults over 60 lose strength faster is because their muscles are not getting the right signal first thing in the morning? And what if I told you that one simple breakfast food could help your body switch back into muscle repair mode starting tomorrow morning? In this video, I am going to show you the one powerful breakfast food that can help you fight back against muscle loss, support strength, and help you feel steadier, more energized, and more capable throughout the day. And I want you to stay with me until the end, because I am not only going to tell you what this food is, I am also going to show you exactly why it works, why most seniors are missing it, and the biggest mistake people make that ruins its benefits. My name is Dr. Elias Novak, and over the years I have worked with many older adults who believed they were doing everything right. They were eating what they thought was healthy, they were trying to stay active, some were even taking supplements every single day, and yet they kept getting weaker. Not because they were lazy, not because it was too late, but because their muscles were not getting the support they needed at the moment they needed it most. And that moment is the morning. Most people do not realize what happens to the body overnight. While you sleep, your body is not just resting, it is repairing, rebuilding, and recovering. But as you get older, that repair system becomes less efficient. Your body becomes slower at rebuilding muscle and faster at breaking it down. That means when you wake up in the morning, your muscles are in a vulnerable state. They have gone hours without fuel. They need high-quality protein. They need the right building blocks. They need a strong signal that tells them, do not break down, rebuild. But instead of giving the body that signal, many people over 60 start the day with toast, cereal, jam, juice, flavored oatmeal, or just coffee. And this is where the problem begins. Because if the first thing you give your body in the morning is mostly sugar, starch, or caffeine without enough protein, your muscles do not get what they need. Your blood sugar rises quickly, then drops. Your energy crashes. Your appetite becomes unstable, and your body stays in the wrong metabolic state for far too long. This is why so many adults over 60 tell me the same thing. Doctor, I don't understand it. I eat breakfast every day. I try to be careful, but I still feel weak. And my answer is often the same. It is not just whether you eat breakfast. It is what your breakfast is telling your muscles to do. Is it telling them to repair, or is it leaving them unsupported? Let me give you an example. A patient of mine, Richard, came to me at 68 years old. He was not bedridden, he was not severely ill. In fact, on paper, he looked relatively fine. But day to day, he felt himself slipping. He used the handrail every time he climbed stairs. He avoided carrying laundry baskets because his arms tired too quickly. He stopped going on long walks with his wife because his legs felt heavy halfway through. And the thing that frustrated him most was this. He believed he was eating a healthy breakfast. Every morning he had a bowl of cereal, low-fat milk, a banana, and coffee. He had been doing that for years. It was quick, it felt light, it seemed heart-friendly. And because it was familiar, he never questioned it. But when I looked closer, the problem was obvious. His breakfast was giving him almost no meaningful muscle-building support. It gave him convenience. It gave him routine. But it did not give his muscles what they were desperately asking for. That is when I changed one thing first. Not 5 things. Not 10 things. Just one. And that one change made a bigger difference than he expected. Before I reveal it, I want you to understand why this works so well. Because once you understand the why, you will never look at breakfast the same way again. As we age, muscle loss becomes easier because the body develops something called anabolic resistance. That simply means your muscles do not respond as strongly to food protein as they did when you were younger. In your 20s or 30s, your body could do more with less. But after 60, your muscles need a clearer, stronger protein signal to turn on repair and maintenance. So if your breakfast is weak in protein, or if the protein is low quality, or if it comes with too much sugar, your body may never fully switch into that rebuilding mode. That is why breakfast matters more than most people think, and that is why the one food I am about to share is so powerful. Because it does three things at once. It gives your muscles high-quality protein. It gives them the amino acids they need to repair. And it gives your body a better chance of preserving strength instead of slowly losing it. So what is this breakfast food? Plain Greek yogurt. Yes, plain Greek yogurt. Not sugary dessert yogurt, not fruit-at-the-bottom yogurt loaded with syrup, not low-protein yogurt drinks, plain Greek yogurt. And here is why this matters so much for adults over 60. Plain Greek yogurt is rich in protein, especially the kind your muscles can use efficiently. It contains important amino acids, including leucine, which plays a major role in stimulating muscle protein synthesis. In simple words, leucine helps send the message your muscles need to hear: rebuild, recover, maintain. That is the signal many older adults are missing every morning. And Greek yogurt delivers it in a way that is easy, practical, and realistic. You do not need a blender. You do not need a complicated recipe. You do not need expensive powders. You do not need to stand over a stove for 30 minutes. You open it, you prepare it in 1 minute, and your body gets the message. Now here is something even more important. Greek yogurt works well for older adults not just because of what it contains, but because of what it replaces. When you replace toast with Greek yogurt, you reduce the empty starch load. When you replace sugary cereal with Greek yogurt, you avoid that rapid spike and crash. When you stop making coffee your breakfast and start making it secondary to a protein-rich meal, your energy becomes steadier. In other words, Greek yogurt helps because it is powerful on its own, but also because it pushes out the foods that quietly keep your muscles unsupported. This is exactly what happened with Richard. At first, he was skeptical. He told me, "Doctor, yogurt can't really make that much difference." And I told him, "It's not magic, it's biology. The question is not whether it's exciting. The question is whether your muscles have been missing it." So I had him start simple. Every morning, within about 30 to 45 minutes of waking up, he ate a bowl of plain Greek yogurt. I told him to choose one that was higher in protein and lower in added sugar. Then I had him add a small handful of walnuts and a few berries. That was it. No extreme plan, no impossible routine, just a better signal to his muscles, first thing in the morning. A few weeks later, he told me something had changed. He was not suddenly a bodybuilder, but he felt steadier. He was less hungry mid-morning. His energy did not crash the same way. Getting out of a chair felt easier. And after a couple of months, he noticed something even more important. He was trusting his body again. That is the part people underestimate. Muscle loss is not just about strength. It is about confidence. Suddenly begin to behave differently. Suddenly begin to behave differently. And this is why small changes matter. Because strength gives freedom, and freedom gives quality of life. Now let me show you why plain Greek yogurt beats so many healthy breakfasts for people over 60. First, it is protein-dense without being heavy. Many older adults do not want a giant breakfast. They want something easy on the stomach. Greek yogurt gives you meaningful protein without that overly full, sluggish feeling. Second, it is practical. Let's be honest, the best breakfast in the world is useless if you never make it. Greek yogurt is one of the few genuinely muscle-friendly foods that is fast enough for real life. Third, it pairs beautifully with other beneficial foods. Add berries for fiber and antioxidants. Add chia seeds or pumpkin seeds for texture and minerals. Add walnuts for healthy fats. Now you are not just eating breakfast. You are building a more complete morning recovery meal. Fourth, it can help reduce the common pattern of craving more sugar later in the day. And that matters, because once your mornings become more balanced, the rest of your eating often becomes easier too. But I need to warn you about the mistake that ruins this whole strategy. The biggest mistake is buying sweetened yogurt and assuming it does the same thing. It does not. If your yogurt is full of added sugar, candy pieces, syrup, dessert flavors, or artificial toppings, you are turning a muscle-supportive breakfast into a blood sugar roller coaster. You want plain Greek yogurt. Then, if you need sweetness, add fresh fruit yourself. That way you control it. Another mistake is eating too little. A couple of tiny spoonfuls will not do much. Your breakfast has to be meaningful enough to send a clear message to your muscles. And another mistake is skipping consistency. This is not about trying it once on a Sunday and forgetting it on Monday. This works when your body gets the same helpful signal over and over again, day after day, morning after morning. That is how routines begin to change bodies. Now, some people watching this may be thinking, "Doctor, I don't really like yogurt." That is fair, but ask yourself something honestly. Have you been choosing breakfast based on what feels familiar, or based on what your body actually needs now? Because after 60, many of the foods that used to work fine no longer serve you the same way. Your body has changed. Your muscle recovery has changed. Your protein needs have changed. And if you want better strength, better balance, and better energy, your breakfast may need to change too. I remember another woman I worked with, Maria, age 72. She told me she felt like she was fading little by little, not dramatically, just gradually. She had stopped kneeling in the garden because getting back up was too hard. She planned errands around how much walking was involved. Thirsting the house. She held onto furniture when moving around the house after sitting too long. And again, she thought she was eating carefully. Tea, toast, maybe a little jam, sometimes crackers. That was breakfast. I explained to her that she was starting the day without any real muscle support. Her body was getting almost no strong recovery signal in the morning, so we changed just one anchor habit: plain Greek yogurt in the morning, consistently. Not perfectly, consistently. A few weeks later, she felt more stable, a little stronger, a little more capable. And those little gains matter, because when it comes to muscle loss, the decline often feels slow at first. But the recovery can begin with something just as small: a better breakfast, a smarter first meal, a stronger signal. This is why I want you to stop thinking of breakfast as just something to fill you up. Breakfast is a message. It tells your body what kind of day this is going to be. It tells your muscles whether support is coming or not. It tells your metabolism whether to stabilize or swing wildly. And if you are over 60, that first message matters more than ever. So here is the simple way to use this. Tomorrow morning, choose plain Greek yogurt as your first real food. Use a protein-rich plain version. Add a few berries. Add a spoonful of chia seeds, ground flax, or a small handful of walnuts if you like. And eat it before you let coffee become the main event. That is important. Coffee is not breakfast. Your muscles cannot rebuild themselves from caffeine. Give your body nourishment first, then enjoy your coffee. If you do this consistently, you may notice steadier energy, fewer cravings, better morning strength, and over time, better support for the muscle mass that protects your independence. And that is the real goal here. Not looking 25 again. Not chasing perfection. Protecting independence. Protecting strength. Protecting the ability to move through life with confidence. Because the truth is, muscle loss after 60 does not just steal power. It steals ease. It steals stability. It steals the little things that make daily life feel normal. But your body is not as helpless as you think. It is still listening. It is still adapting. It still responds to the signals you give it. The question is, what signal are you sending every morning? If you have been starting your day with toast, cereal, or nothing but coffee, do not beat yourself up. Just make a better choice starting tomorrow. Plain Greek yogurt. Simple, accessible, powerful. And if you stay consistent with it, you may be surprised by how much better your body can feel when it finally gets the support it has been missing. My name is Dr. Elias Novak, and if this message helped you see breakfast in a completely different way, I want you to remember this one sentence. The first meal of the day can either feed muscle loss or fight it. Choose the one that fights for you. And if you are ready,